Hello everybody, welcome to Totally Tabled. My name is Shaggy, and today I'm doing a complete playthrough of Final Girl. Our setting for this playthrough will be Maple Lane, a typical American suburban neighborhood in the quaint town of Spring Hill. I've chosen Sheila to be our final girl for this playthrough. She starts with 6 health, so you put out 5 health tokens, and then for the 6th and last health token, you take one at random, and you don't look at the back. I drew a random setup card and got playtime. So you can see our final girl starts right there, and our killer starts right there. And speaking of our killer for this playthrough, it's going to be Dr. Fright, the Dream Doctor. He starts with 9 health, so I have 8 health tokens and a final health token there, also chosen at random. You can also see our terror level starts at 4, and we start with 6 time. We also put the token at the bottom of the bloodlust track. Now I've got everything else set up and ready to go. I've shuffled the event deck, I shuffled up the terror cards, drew 10 at random to form our terror deck. And each different location in this game and killer in the game has special rules attached to them. And for Maple Lane, we have a different type of action card here called Convince, because in order to enter into one of these occupied houses, you can see here the board is kind of cut into these quadrants. And in each quadrant, you have 3 different houses. Well, in order to enter into one of these occupied houses, you actually have to convince the people inside to let you in by using that convince card. Unoccupied houses, you can just walk in. And each of these houses is a place where we can do a search action in order to get one of these items. And so you can see there is a deck of 3 cards for each quadrant. Essentially, when we find an item in a house, we won't be able to search that house again. Now, Dr. Fright is very unique in the sense that we cannot hurt him and he cannot hurt us as long as we are awake. Dr. Fright's going to go around and kill all these victims all he likes, but if we want to hurt him, we're going to need to fall asleep, enter his dream world where things aren't quite as they seem. And only then can we use our different attack cards and weapons to damage him. There's also a little mini game associated with his dream world called the Boiler Room. I'll explain that when we get to it, but we start awake at the moment. And so let's just jump right in and start playing. The first thing we have to do is draw an event card. And it says it's raining. We need to panic victims in the intersection. Well, with the playtime setup, there actually is nobody in the intersection, so no one's going to panic. It says then move every victim that is in a street space to its adjacent house. Ooh, wow. So it's pouring down rain, everyone's running inside. Now, it might be a little difficult to see, but each of these houses is attached to the street in a specific space and connected by a driveway. So, for instance, this house right here is connected with this driveway. So that potential victim is going to run into the house like that. This one's going to come in through there. This one's going to come into there. And this one's going to come into there. And then we just discard that card. Wow, so right off the bat, things have changed up a little bit. That's interesting. And there we go. I've got my starting hand of the 6 0-time cards, and we are ready to begin. So ultimately, we are interested in killing Dr. Fright. And like I said, in order to do that, we're going to need to enter into his dream world. But at the start of the game, we really want to try to save these potential victims from him, because every one of these victims that he kills hurts us in some way. And every victim we save helps us. So I think right off the bat, we want to try to run so that we're a little closer to these victims so that we can try to save them. So on your turn, you play one of your cards, and then you're going to roll dice. And the number of dice that you get to roll is based on where you are on the horror track. You can see right now we're on the 4 spot, so we get to roll 2 dice. If the horror track gets down here, we're only going to roll 1. But if we can reduce our horror and get it into this green area, we'll get to roll 3 dice. And what we want to do is get successes, get these star successes. We have 2 blanks, 2 successes, and then 2 of these moderate successes, which let us discard 2 of our cards from our hand in order to turn it into a success. Or we could do nothing and have it be a fail. And obviously, if we can get 2 successes, we'll get the best version of walk. 1 success, we get a medium, and if we get no successes, then it becomes a bad thing. So let's just roll and see what we get. All right, so right off the bat here, we have 1 success and 1 moderate success, which we could turn into a success by discarding 2 cards. I don't think we necessarily want to do that at the moment. I think we'll just take our 1 success. And this says we get to move up to 1 space and we spend a time. There we go. And then we discard this card. And now we can keep going. We can essentially keep going playing actions until we run out of time. Now we want to actually save some time because time is what we use to get new cards into our hand. But for right now, I think I'd like to do some more walking. Oh no, double fail. So with a complete failure, we have a choice. We can move up to 1 space, lose a heart, and then lose 2 time. Or we could just lose 2 time and move nowhere. I think I'll lose a heart, take a little bit of damage there, lose 2 time, so I can move 1 space. Okay, that was not good. We're sort of now out of movement cards. We have a short rest card, which we can use to get some health back. We have this weak attack, but again, that's sort of useless for us right now. I think I want to try to do a little focus. If we roll well on focus, we can not only lower the horror track, but we can also maybe gain some time if we get lucky. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Gain 2 time and reduce our horror level. Now we're still at the rolling 2 dice stage, but that's much better. And having that extra time is going to let us get better cards. I would definitely like to have 5 time so that I can get exactly the cards that I want. So I might hold on to these right now. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to these, and I'm going to stop my turn right here. So that was the action phase. Now we go into the planning phase where we can spend any leftover time that we have in order to get cards. You can see here, this is the market of cards that we can get, and at the bottom right, it shows the time cost to get them. Now, right now, I have no movement in my hand, so I'm kind of stuck here unless I get a movement card. And there is that sprint card there, so let's grab that one. That costs 2 time to add into my hand. That sprint card will let us move over here, but like I said, you can't enter a house that someone's in unless you convince them to let you in. And so we're going to need at least 1 convince card in order to do that. That costs 1 time. And then once you're in a house, you can search for items, but you need a search card to do that. And that one costs 2 time. And there we go. We're now set up for the next round to move, enter a house, and search for items. And we're out of time, so we can't get any more cards. That's it. That's the planning phase all done. Now, when you're done purchasing cards, you take the cards that you played, your discard pile of cards, and you put them into the market. All these 0 cost cards can just go into their own pile. During the next planning phase, those will be available for us to take for free. So essentially, on these 0 cost cards, there's just a 1 turn cooldown for each card that you play. We now go to the killer phase. where the first thing that happens is the killer gets to take their main action, which is shown right here. At the beginning, as part of setup, we chose a random card here. That'll be revealed at the end of the game, but it defines what their main action is. And what that little icon is saying is that they're going to target either the final girl or a victim, which whoever is closer. And when we are awake, because Dr. Fright can't harm us, he won't target us. He's always going to go after a victim. So he's going to target a victim, and then that knife icon means he's going to attack. Now, right now, he has no one in his space, so he can't attack anyone. So that's good. We got lucky there. After we resolve the killer's action, we then draw a terror card. It says, "But if this is a dream, then I can." If you are awake, immediately discard this card and resolve the next terror card. Okay, well, we are awake, so we're just going to discard that and resolve the next one. Frankie's coming for you. If there are no victims on the board, discard and draw the next terror card. Well, there's definitely victims on the board. Otherwise, so Dr. Fright is going to target a victim, the closest victim. Right now, the closest victim are these three in that house. So that means he's going to move towards them. To see his current movement, you then go to the Bloodlust track here. You can see it's at the very bottom. So his movement is only one space. So he's just going to move one space towards them. We then come down here. It says if Dr. Fright is in a space with at least one victim, then that would gain 2 on the horror track. He's not, so instead we just gain 1 on the horror track. And that's it. That was the terror action. So we got lucky. He didn't kill anybody yet. We now go into 2 phases where often nothing will happen, and that's the case here. We go into a panic phase where if at least one victim had been killed this round, then any victims that were still in Dr. Fright's location would then panic and scatter, run away. No one was killed, so we can skip that. We then go to a upkeep kind of cleanup phase where if we had any sort of upkeep things we had to worry about, we would do them now. We don't have anything like that, so we can skip that phase. And that's essentially the end of the round. We now go back to our action phase. We use our hand of cards and continue to take actions just like we did before. Now, as much as I would like to swoop in and try to save the people in this house who are about to get murdered, I think they're kind of goners right now. I think I'm going to try to focus my attention on some of the other potential victims. So the first thing we want to do is sprint. We're still in the 2 dice section. Ugh. Well, I think we definitely want to spend 2 cards in order to get a success. Because having no successes here would mean we would lose a heart, lose 2 time, and then that big X means the action phase would end. And we wouldn't get to do anything more. We'd have to go right to the planning phase. Or we could just lose a heart and lose 2 time. We definitely don't want to do either of those 2 things. So instead, we're going to discard 2 cards. I think we're going to discard our short rest and our weak attack. We just put those in our discard pile. And then this becomes a success. With 1 success, we should have reset our time. Forgot to do that. You always reset your time back to 6. And now we're going to spend a time in order to move up to 2 spaces. We only need to move 1. We're just going to move right here. So we're right outside this house right here in the northeast. We now want to enter the house, but we have to convince the people inside that we're trustworthy. And you can see here, if you have 3 dice, you could potentially even get 3 successes. That's not going to be possible for us. Ooh, we did get 1, though. So that is okay. We get to enter an adjacent house at the cost of 1 time. All right, we'll take it. That could have been worse. Now that we're inside the house, we can actually move away and take up to 2 victims with us. They'll follow us. And if we can get them to one of these green locations, and there's 4 of them, at the end of each street. If we can get them to one of those, then we can sort of tell them to escape, get out of here, run away. They'll come off the board and we'll get to place them on our card here and get some benefits, get some healing, take some different cards, lower the horror track, get 2 extra time. And if we can fill up this card completely, save 6 victims, then we'll get to flip our final girl over and get a special ability. Her special ability is something that I didn't mention. We can always just discard a card from our hand in order to gain 1 time. Well, if we do that and we have Sheila flipped over, then we actually can gain 2 time by doing that. But we're far away from there. Now that we're in the house, we can also search for items by playing that search card that we got. So hopefully we'll get 1 success here. Oh no, no successes. That is really bad. So with no successes, we have a choice. We could either take the top item for the Northeast. You can see there it's that pitchfork, which is something that I really want. But we're actually going to be losing 2 horror. We're going to gain 2 horror and lose 2 time. Or we could ignore that and just lose 1 horror and 2 time. Well, I say let's grab that item. 2 horror, 2 time. Ugh. Now this pitchfork, you can see here we have a place for holding things in our hands. We have 2 hands. The pitchfork here takes 2 hands to hold. So this is going to be the only thing we're going to get to hold. It has a range of 0, which means we have to be in the same spot as Dr. Fright to use it. And it's going to give us an extra hit when we play one of these attack cards. It also has a special ability where we can discard it to prevent damage from a single attack. So if Dr. Fright comes at us, we could discard it to ignore the damage, which could be very useful, might save our life. Oh boy. Well, we're down to 1 last card, which is a focus card. We only have 2 time. The problem is, if we don't roll well here, we could be in real trouble. I think I'm going to hold on to this focus card and not spend it right now, and end the action phase right there. Now the question is, what do we want to buy? We're going to enter the planning phase. We will get these 0-cost cards, right? They don't cost anything, so we'll definitely get those into our hands. By the way, you do have a hand limit of 10 cards. And honestly, I think we just want another sprint. We really just want to run these folks to safety. I think that's maybe all we're going to get. Now, some of these cards, there's 2 of them. These ones down here, there's only 1 of each of these. But up here, there's 2 of each. So that cost 2 time. That was all my time. Done taking cards. Reset. Back to 6. The cards in our discard pile go up here. You can see there's a sprint, there's a convince, there's a search, and a couple of 0s. Those will be available for next time. At least we got a weapon, so that could have been worse. We go to the killer phase. Once again, nobody in his spot isn't going to be killing anybody. So we just got to draw a terror card. It came right through the yard. So, gonna target the closest victim. Gonna move 1 space. So moving into the house. And 1 knife means doing 1 damage. Now each of these victims only has 1 health, so boom, killed. When Dr. Fright kills a victim, it goes right here. And you can see here, every time a victim dies, the bloodlust goes up. And that is creating a terror. So, man, our horror is at its max. That is really bad. It now says that if the killer is in a house, move it to any other house in the quadrant with a victim. Well, we don't have another house in the quadrant with a victim. So I would assume you just stay right here because there's other victims in here and do another killing. Oh my goodness. This goes up The bloodlust goes up again, and now you can see anytime we have a boot, Dr. Fright's going to be able to move 2 spaces. Man, this is really bad. And then lastly, we draw another event. Okay, we have Officer Kopp. Nice name. If you are scared, I would be happy to escort you out of the area. Ooh, okay. So this says place the Kopp car token on one of the exit spaces of your choice. Each upkeep, move it 1 space towards the opposite exit. Victims in the space with the Kopp car will move with it and are considered saved when they reach the other exit. And then we're just going to remove the Kopp car when it reaches the other exit. Okay. We could just unload them where the Kopp car is, and then they'll just move sort of on their own. Here's the Kopp car token. Oh, where do I want to place it? I think I'll put it here and have it drive through here, and then maybe later in the game I can try to like get these guys to the intersection and these over here. Maybe I'll do that. Not sure. Okay, and I'm going to leave that there to remind us that that's a thing. Oh boy, wow, things are going really badly. Now, I want to point out, you never flip the item card that's underneath it, right? When you take an item, you leave the others face down, so you don't quite know what you're going to get. Okay, so now we do have to resolve the panic phase because some victims were killed and there is a victim in there with Dr. Fright. So what you do is you roll a die and you see what number you get. Okay, we got a number 5. You then look on the map here. It can be a little tricky to see. We look here at that little number right there, and it shows a 1 to 3. That means if we had rolled a 1 to 3, then the victim would have run out the door that direction. There's no other way out, and we rolled a 5, so that means they're just going to stay right there, unfortunately. We kind of wanted them to panic and run out to the street, but it didn't happen. We now go to the upkeep phase, and we do have something to do in the upkeep phase. We move the police car, and now we are ready for the next action phase. So we're in a lot of trouble here. We have to get our horror level down, because right now we're just rolling 1 die. Now what I want to do is I want to save a couple people so that we can get our horror level down that way, because I could place it right there. And then maybe we could roll a focus using 2 dice and maybe try to get it that way. Right now, we'd be, if I played focus now, we'd only be rolling 1 die. It's risky. So I think what I want to do is I probably want to walk. If I sprint, I'm risking ending the action phase right away. So let's walk and hope we get lucky. And again, we only get to roll 1 die. Man, things have gone really, really sideways here. Okay, 2 cards. I think we have to do this, unfortunately. Let's do one of the focus and the other walk, I guess. Actually, I think we don't need the sprint. I bought the sprint, and to just discard it seems... Yeah, I think unfortunately I'm going to have to get rid of the sprint and one of these focuses, just so we can have 1 success here. And then we get to move out with up to 2 victims. And now we're going to walk again, because we just need to get to that space right there and they're saved. Oh, we got a 2-card one again, and I only have 1 card. So that's a failure. We do get to move up to... Oh, wait, sorry. In that last card, I should have spent a time. So now we got a failure. We do get to move up to 1 space. We're going to lose another heart, and it's going to take 2 time, but we at least get to move them in here, and we can tell them to run away, and we get to place them on this card. So I think I'm going to place 1 here so we can get our horror level back. We're now back into the rolling 2 dice space, and maybe get some more time. I have lost 2 health, but I think that's okay. Let's just get some more time back so we can buy some more cards. That'll get us 2 time back. And now I do want to try to focus now that I can roll 2 dice. Oh, double success on the focus roll for the second time. That's awesome. Lose a horror and gain 2 time back. That is exactly what the doctor ordered. Because now we have 7 time. We're out of cards, but we have 7 time that we can spend to get new cards. Now, we obviously are going to get our 0 cards back, short rest and weak attack. I think we really want to work on getting our horror level down, because having this up is really bad, really, really bad. I think we want one of these distraction cards. Now, that's going to cost us 3 time. 1, 2, 3. But you can see here it does a really good job of getting rid of horror. We have 4 time left. If we don't get a sprint card, we can't move. We could just focus on getting our horror level down. Yeah, you know what? I don't mind that. Let's get another distraction card. Another 3 time. And then let's get one of these close call cards for 1. This is a card that we can play to re-roll our dice. Either re-roll just one of them or all of them for a little bit of time. So this will help us maybe get a really good distraction roll. If we can get this all the way down so we're rolling 3 dice, that's going to really help us out so we can have many more successes. All right, that was the planning phase. We're under 10 cards. And now we go, unfortunately, to the killer phase where, boom, he gets to kill somebody. This moves up. And because of that, we get another horror. That bloodlust is moving up fast. We then draw a terror card. Oh my god, he's slicing off his own fingers. Oh my god. So, we're targeting the nearest victim, again, with this symbol and Dr. Fright. He can't come after me, so he's always going to go after a victim. And there's 2 boots, so he's actually going to move 4 spaces. He's going to go up here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, because he's getting to move 2 times, and each movement is worth 2. It says Dr. Fright takes a damage unless he only has a final health token remaining. All right, so he takes a damage, and then it says if Dr. Fright took damage, 3 horror, and you and all victims in his space panic. Wow, okay, so 3 horror, 1. For each one that he can't take, he actually moves the bloodlust token up 1. Wow, so 1, 2, and he's crossed over his dark power spot. So we have to flip over this randomly. At setup, we selected one of these at random. We have to flip over his dark power. And it says, the Frightmare is inevitable. Dr. Fright may attack you even if you are awake. Oh, no. Wow. But the victims do panic. So we're going to roll a die for each victim. So like before, they only run out on a 1 to 3. So it looks like 2 of them are going to run away. And 1 has foolishly decided to hide in the house. Wow, that was a really bad terror. And now apparently Dr. Fright can attack me even though I can't attack him. Well, fantastic. Now here's the thing. That character is still going to get to panic during the panic phase. So there's still a chance that they could run away. Nope, they're going to stay right there. And during the upkeep phase, the police officer drives through. Man, if we could just run up there and try to bring them back into the police car, maybe that would help. Although I can't move this round, so unfortunately, there's not much we can do about that. In fact, this round was all about trying to get our horror back. So, unfortunately, though, we're only rolling 1 die. Okay. Hopefully we can roll well here. Oh, forgot to reset the time. Okay, we can discard 2 cards. I think we should do that. Gonna discard the weak attack and the short rest. Oh, these cards should have gone. I forgot to put these cards back. Into here. So we're discarding those 2. That's going to give us a success. So we can recover 1 and actually gain a time. Excellent. Now we're rolling 2 dice. And we can do this distraction 1 more time. Really want to get that top result. Okay. Well, I could spend the close call to re-roll this. Or we could just accept this. No, I really want to try. So we're gonna give it that good old 1/3 try. No, okay. Well, we got 1 success, so 1 of those, and we get another time. Well, that could have gone better. We do have 8 time for spending on cards. We're getting back these 4. So we got some walk and some focus. Maybe we take this time. We have so much time. Maybe we want to prepare to come in and do a big attack. Yeah, we could get a critical blow. Let's do it. That's 6. And then, with 2 left, we could get a guard. The guard would help us if he attacks us back. We could prevent some of that damage. Okay, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to prepare to fall asleep and go in for an attack. Okay. Remember to reset our time and to put these cards back. Killer phase. He gets to kill. This moves up, and once again, or horror. Now when he attacks, he's doing 3 damage. Now that doesn't matter for the victims, but it matters when he attacks us. He's going to be doing 3 damage, and we don't have that much health. Okay, we need a good terror card here. Did you hear what happened on Maple Lane? Oh goodness, event, and then draw the next terror card. Oh boy. Okay. First event, it's the 4th of July. The show is about to start. Do you have our sparklers? Move all victims inside a house to the adjacent street space. Wow, all victims are moving into the street. And then we have boyfriend. He is sort of clingy and always wants to talk. Place this special victim in the boyfriend's house. This is your boyfriend. If the killer would target you, the killer instead targets the boyfriend. During upkeep, move the boyfriend 2 spaces towards you. Then, if the boyfriend is in your space, you lose 2 time. So here is the boyfriend, and here is the boyfriend's house. I think our boyfriend is gonna get killed. But we gotta draw another terror card. Blurred reality. Until the next terror phase, you and Dr. Fright may damage each other, even if you are awake. Incredible. Wow, that means I don't even have to fall asleep, and I'm ready to go. We can just run over to him and attack him. This is great. This is exactly what we needed. The reality between the dream world and our world blurs for a moment, just enough for us to strike him down. This is great stuff. Unfortunately, he is going to target the nearest victim, move and attack. Oh god. Right here, stopping, attacking, killing, and oh boy, that bloodlust has really moved up. Oh, I just hope we can get to him. All right, well, that was the killer phase. We now are panic phase. There we go. We have someone panicking on a 2. So it says here 1 to 2 is going to run back into the house. And now upkeep phase, police car moves in with those victims. So that means on the next upkeep phase, they're all going to move over there automatically and be saved. And we're going to get to put them on our thing. That's tremendously helpful. Wow, that's so cool. We also have another upkeep, don't we? The boyfriend. During upkeep, move the boyfriend 2 spaces towards you. 1, 2. My boyfriend is apparently an idiot running straight towards Dr. Fright. Well, there we go. Time for a hopefully very cool action phase. Okay, so we need to remember we're currently in blurred reality. So we can attack Dr. Fright. Now he can always attack us because of his dark power. We are 3 spaces away, so we're going to need to get a double success on one of these walk cards. I have 2 walk cards. We have to get a double success on one of these or we're not going to be able to get to him to attack him because we got to be in a space. If we had a weapon, some sort of item that, you know, had a range to it, then that would have been helpful. But right now we just have a pitchfork. Okay, well, 1 success. Nothing we can do about that. Cost of time, and we can move 1 space. Okay. Need to get 2 successes here or we're going to miss out on this chance. Yes! Didn't even have to spin cards. Excellent. We get to move 2 spaces. It costs us a time. Okay, this is incredible. This is incredible. Okay, now because of blurred reality, we can actually attack Dr. Fright, and we have the critical blow. Now, when you're doing an attack, it's the same thing as, you know, a regular action card. We'll get these hits on Dr. Fright, and then we can also use a weapon that will give us additional hits. So we have this pitchfork, so we'll actually be able to do an additional damage here. Now, the only problem is if we only get 1 success, then that's going to end this action round. Do we... No, I don't think we want to save the focus in case we need to spend those. So, okay, we'll just do this. Come on. Oh, 1 success. All right. Well, that's still pretty good. 2 damage, plus 1 damage, 3 damage on Dr. Fright. 1 reduced horror, but that ends our action round. Still, that was pretty cool. We got to take advantage of the blurred reality, so I'm happy. That was good. And that didn't take any time, did it? No, that didn't cost us any time, so we still have 4 time that we can use. We're going to get this back. We have a weak attack and a short rest. We could use those, actually. And... ooh, we could just go... we could go to sleep and attack. He's down to 5 health. If we went to sleep and then attacked him with the weak attack and the furious strike, we could maybe do this. So let's just go all in. We got 4 time. Let's just go all in. We'll spend the 4 time on the furious strike and we'll see if maybe we can take him out. Killer phase. Okay. Oh no, the boy. So, hey Sheila! Hey Sheila, where are you? And now I'm basically using him as a boyfriend shield here. Normally, Dr. Fright would target me in this situation, but instead, targeting the boyfriend and killing the boyfriend. That's a shame. So the bloodlust goes up. 2 terror. Oh my goodness, this horror track is killing us. Okay, then a terror card. Oh man, minor dark power. Okay. Oh, look at this. You fall asleep. Ooh, we wanted to fall asleep anyway. So when you fall asleep, you take this card. I'm just going to reshuffle these up. So you got to shuffle up these 4 boiler room cards. Then you want to put this at the bottom and flip it over. So now we are asleep. While this card is in play, you must remain asleep. Reset the boiler room immediately upon exiting it. Now this stays up here. And we put a heart token here. So Dr. Fright has gained a little bit more health. When we attack him and take some health off, we'll get to take that one off first, and then that card will go away. But until then, we are asleep, and we're going to be staying asleep. Now, it's very fortunate that we decided to go ahead and get that Furious Strike. So we are ready to attack him, which is good. Now that we've fallen asleep, some things have changed. We still get to move around the board, and in fact, we can still hunt for items. But the victims will not follow us. Also, when we're asleep, at the end of the killer phase, we have to resolve at least one boiler room card. And this is that mini game that I was alluding to before. And so, after the terror card, that's the end of the killer phase. I think we need to do that right now. So here's how it works. We take this deck. This is a little fiddly. Oh, this boyfriend card can go away. I'm sure he was a jerk anyway. Okay, so we have to be very careful here to not look at the cards that are underneath. And what we need to do is we need to move this top card either up, to the left, right, or down. And we're going to be uncovering one of the boiler room cards. Each of those 4 cards is divided into 4 sections. And on one of the 4 sections, there's a picture of Dr. Fright. If we reveal that picture, then Dr. Fright's going to attack us, which would be really bad because he's now doing 3 damage. So right now, it's completely random. We don't know which way to move it, so I'm just going to move it down. And we have to be very careful not to uncover any of the other cards, just the top card. So we're going to just do it like that. And oh no. Unfortunately, we got unlucky. There is Dr. Fright right there. Now we've gained a little bit of information. We know that on the other 3 cards, Dr. Fright's never going to appear in the upper left corner. But that doesn't help us right now. We are taking damage. Now, one of the things we could do is we could get rid of our pitchfork. We can discard this at any time to prevent damage from a single attack. That seems like a good idea. In fact, that seems like exactly what I want to do, because we do have this guard, but we're going to have to roll, and we're only rolling 1 die. And the most that we could do is reduce it by 2. Yeah, I think we want to just get rid of this pitchfork and ignore all that damage. And then this is going to stay like this. We could resolve more if we wanted to. And the way that you escape from, normally, the way you would escape from being asleep is by going through all 4 of those cards, shifting them, revealing spots, and hoping to avoid the Dr. Fright. Once you've done all 4, then you can escape, you can wake up. Now, currently we're in endless sleep here, so we can't do that right now, but you only have to resolve 1. So now we're going to go to the panic phase. The final girl doesn't panic, even though her boyfriend was murdered right in front of her. She's not going to panic. Like I said, I'm sure he's a jerk. He got what was coming to him. And now we do the upkeep phase, and the cop drives away with these 3 victims. So he's gone. But these 3 victims have been saved. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to definitely get our health back. Let's get the long rest card. And let's get the improvise card as well. Oh, we're 1 away from being able to flip her over, but not to be. We're back to action. We're asleep. We're in the space with Dr. Fright. I think we've got to go for the attack. Now, we have a Furious Strike, and we have a weak attack. Unfortunately, we had to get rid of our pitchfork there, so The most damage we could do here is 3. That is a shame. And I say that, we're only rolling 1 die. Boy, I wonder if we want to try to focus first. Ooh, we could try to improvise. If we improvised and we got lucky, for the next horror roll, all 3s and 4s would also count as successes. Oh boy. If we got 2 successes, then till the end of the action phase, all 3s and 4s would count. So maybe we want to try to focus first? Problem is, yeah, if we focus, then we could potentially get another, die to roll before we do this improvise. The real problem is, oh, there is a retaliate, but it would be great to get that critical blow. We would need 6 time to do that. I think our best bet is the focus. So let's roll for focus, and hopefully we'll get a success. Failure, we lose 2 time. Ugh. I think we need to try to do that again, right? Let's try to do it again. Okay. I think we have to do this. We have a long rest. We could get rid of the short rest and the improvise, unfortunately. But at least we'll get 2 dice to roll. Okay. I could have gotten rid of the weak attack. No, we gotta get all in. We gotta get as much in as we can. Okay. Let's do weak attack. Rolling 2 dice. Oh no. I can't get rid of these because he's gonna attack me. I need the guard. I could get rid of the... No, I can't get rid of these. I can't get rid of these. We just have to fail. That was just unfortunate. So, we failed. We lose a heart. And that ends our action phase. Wow. Ugh. That was tragic. We can't buy much. We could buy a distraction. That might be a good idea because we're going to need... Okay, we're getting these. We're getting our 2 walks. I would like to get these close calls so we could do some rerolls. Could also get another guard. Okay, I'm going to get a guard and a close call with my 3. Okay, killer phase. Going to attack me. Doing 3 damage. I have 2 guards here. So I am going to play a guard. So these cards in blue, there's guard and then there's also retaliate here. You can play these from your hand in reaction to being attacked. And we resolve it just like we would any other card. Luckily we're in the 2 dice spot here. So if I get 2 successes, I will get to block all of this damage. Come on. Oh no. Well, I do have this close call. And this seems like a good time to use it. So I'm actually going to reduce 2 time in order to reroll both dice. Okay, 1 success. I think we'll keep that. Reduce by 2, so I'm only taking 1 damage. That is acceptable. Now we got to do a terror. Oh no. Grab your crucifix. If you have a crucifix, you may discard it to ignore the rest of this card. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? But no. Wow. Okay. We're basically going to get attacked twice. Well, we have another guard. So... oh boy. We need a good roll here. Okay, 1 success. We'll take that. Just 1 damage. And now we're just taking 3 damage. Okay. Well, here we go. 1, 2, 3 damage. So we have to remove our last heart token. When you do that, you flip it over. If it's blank, we're just dead and we've lost the game. but there's a chance that it'll have a little extra life on it. Nope, it's... Oh, that's it. We're just dead. Oh, that's a shame. We had the long rest card that could get our health back. So some of these will have extra health, and you get sort of like a final little jolt of life, but nope. We just got crushed. Now, if you get through all of the terror cards, that's when you flip over this card. You enter into a sort of a final act 3 of the movie where you kind of need to hurry up and kill them or bad things start happening. In this case, we got the everyone must die. There you go. That is a complete play of Final Girl. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.